Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez under fire for saying that there's hysteria across the country over the surging violent crime stats that we've been telling you about, including the 64% spike in shootings in her native New York City. Listen.
We are seeing these headlines about percentage increases. Now, I want to say that any amount of harm is unacceptable and too much. But I also want to make sure that this hysteria, that this doesn't drive a hysteria and that we look at these numbers in context so that we can make responsible decisions about what to allocate in that context.
What? Unlike AOC, ordinary people don't have reams of private security, amongst other things. I'm not quite sure what context she's talking about. So why mock the people who actually care about their neighborhoods and care about their own safety? Hal?
Well, AOC is the gift that keeps on giving to Republicans. So I'm all for giving her as many interviews, as much airtime as possible, because she says the most ridiculous things. As part of that same interview, she said that the way to have less people in prison is to build fewer prisons. I mean, as though people are just put into prison willy-nilly and they don't deserve to be there and they're not out there terrorizing neighborhoods. It's really bizarre. She's completely out of touch. This interview shows she's out of touch, saying that people are hysterical about it. She's not living it. She actually has never really lived it because she's not even from that part of New York. And she's going to keep saying ridiculous things on all types of topics because she's really not very educated or very smart on any issue that I've seen her speak on.
Yeah, and Isabel, apparently now it's also Republicans' fault because Republicans voted to defund the police.
This has been a new common narrative that honestly I'm shocked has gotten so much attention from the left. Our White House press secretary recently added to this claim that it's Republicans who are calling to defund the police. So let's take a moment and talk about reality and context so that, in the words of AOC, we can make some responsible decisions moving forward. The context of why this crime is violently surging all across the country, not just in New York or Los Angeles, but Portland, Seattle, Denver, Minneapolis, all across the country, is because of several major leftist policies working together to make this happen. First and foremost, defunding the police and taking resources away from those who sacrifice their life every day to keep Americans safe, regardless of what political party you fall under. But also opening our southern border and allowing individuals to come into our country with zero repercussions, even if they happen to be members of international gangs like MS-13 or are trafficking firearms or drugs into our country that spurs that violence further. And of course, calls for gun control at serious levels that would limit ordinary and innocent Americans' ability to defend themselves in the face of such criminal activity, while of course imposing no restrictions or consequences on criminals because, again, the lack of resources provided to our police departments across the country. This is very important, though, because Representative Ocasio-Cortez is not a dumb individual. And I hear a lot of people in media talk to her this way and speak about her in this manner. But this is an individual with an economics degree from Boston University. She's a United States Congresswoman. She's a media darling of the leftist establishment media and social media alike. This is someone who knows how to get her voice and her message out there. She may be misinformed and be more focused on being morally correct than factually accurate, as she says all of the time. But this is a narrative that is powerfully invading American culture and believing people to believe that it is, in fact, Republicans who are trying to defund the police and that it's all the right's fault.
And she's not the only one out there saying it. You had, Democrat Ilhan Omar back from Minneapolis saying that the Minneapolis police were, quote, a cancer, and saying that police need to be reimagined, Julio.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They think that social workers, and they live in this sort of like Care Bears world where they just think that, criminals aren't dangerous people and they just need a hug. And, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I think it's only going to get worse. I mean, if you look at one of the leading candidates in the New York Democratic primary, now that they have that ranked choice voting, it might wind up being the second choice. And that person wants to take $1 billion out of the New York City police budget. This whole revisionist history that the Democrats come out with, that it was the Republicans that went ahead and wanted to defund the police. The Democrats have been doing this forever, just like they try to blame Republicans for Jim Crow laws, which were Democrat. Like they try to say that Republicans were against the 1964 Civil Rights Act, when in reality it was Democrats that filibustered it for 57 days. The problem with this and this messaging is that most of the media, obviously not Newsmax, but most of the mainstream media lets the Democrats get away with disseminating this garbage.
Yeah, let's take a look at May 2021 compared to May 2020, year-to-date comparison of murders specifically. And we keep showing this graphic, but it really is telling. When you're talking about Portland surging 800%, Isabel. I just mentioned Minneapolis, where the police there were referred to as a cancer by a United States Congresswoman. Minneapolis up 58%, Philadelphia rising 40%, DC increasing 35%, LA, New York City, Chicago up 22%, Philadelphia hitting a 37% increase. You know, we had a shooting that happened in the middle of Midtown New York just this past weekend, where a U.S. Marine was just randomly shot in the back because some street vendors got into a fight and pulled a gun, Isabel.
This is heartbreaking information. And if you're listening to this and you feel uncomfortable about it, good, because this is not what's supposed to be normal in our society. And it's not the job of our politicians to make things more dangerous for us and make us feel unsafe to leave our homes, to walk around our cities, to meet up with a friend in Times Square and actually fear for losing our lives. This has created such a negative feedback loop, the narrative of defunding the police, that when we take these resources away from police departments, it becomes less likely that our current law enforcement officers want to stay on the job or even be recruited to start the job to begin with. And honestly, I don't blame any individual who's seriously thinking about leaving the police force or thinking about a change in what they want their career to be moving forward, because it was difficult to be a police officer in the United States before, but gosh darn it, it's darn near impossible now in 2021. You are called a cancer. You have people bring dead pigs' heads to your house to threaten your family, follow you around, and constantly make sure you are under attack, not just in the media, but in a very physical sense in many of these cities as well. And if you're a law enforcement officer out there, we salute you. We are so proud of you. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything you're doing to keep our communities safe. But if we want things to go back to normal and be safe again, it starts with honoring our law enforcement officers.
But yet, even today, just today, Hal, the city of Oakland, California, moving to take millions of dollars away from the police department there.
Yeah, no, they're true believers in defunding the police. This is not just for the television cameras. So they're doing it. And the other thing, Isabel, I know you know this, that one of the big things they've done is elect DAs. You've got George Soros-backed DAs in most of these cities where they deliberately go in and refuse to prosecute. So the police will make their arrest and they refuse to prosecute. And they're not just refusing to prosecute small crimes. They're reducing penalties. They're letting people out of jail. Look, this is a weird time. It's going to reverse. And the Democrats see that it's very damaging politically, which is why they're now trying to say it's Republicans that actually defunded the police. No one's going to fall for it. They are trying to get the low information voter that maybe only catches a little bit of the news to feel like, oh, well, maybe it was the Republicans. But anybody that's paying any attention at all knows that's not true. And it's purely because they're in panic mode, because it is turning into a real disaster. 22% for Chicago. I mean, they were already at the top of the list, and they're still increasing homicides by 22% year over year. I mean, this is crazy.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.